Hello everyone, Jule here. We have been discussing a lot of JRPGs and turn-based games at this point, yet I still feel like it doesn't enough. There's a lot of games in these genres that are almost never talked about that time will slowly erase their existence, and I will not let that happen. With that in mind, I'm starting this new series about games that you probably never heard of. And since the emphasis of this series is to highlight rather than showing which one is the best, the number in this video is not representing the ranking of the game. But before we go into the list, I want to introduce you to the best platform for buying games in this modern era, and it's called Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is the perfect place for you to shop in games these days. Your transactions are legit, fast, and their supports are ready 24/7, so you don't need to worry about anything. Do you think I was done? Not even close. They have lots of games for your favorite platforms, and they have the best deals as well. Instead of cutting your budget for dinner to buy new games, why not try Instant Gaming and eat healthy as well? All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games, and use the activation code on your chosen platforms. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. Cross Edge is a crossover turn-based RPG that brings together characters from multiple anime-style franchises into a shared universe, delivering a fanservice-heavy, systems-dense experience tailored for hardcore JRPG enthusiasts. At its core, the game features a grid-based battle system with a twist. It combines turn-based commands with real-time combo execution, drawing inspiration from both tactical RPGs and fighting games. Characters are placed on a 3x4 grid, and positioning affects both offense and defense. Frontline units deal and take more damage, while backline characters are better suited for support roles.
Let's play again sometime.
Jade Cocoon is a monster collecting RPG series that blends deep creature fusion and mythologically inspired storytelling into a uniquely atmospheric experience. At its core, the series revolves around turn-based battles and monster fusion, with each captured minion acting as a customizable party member. Moreover, monsters are aligned to one of 4 elements in a strength-weakness cycle. As a result, exploiting elemental matchups is key to victory, especially as enemies grow more complex later in the game. Rise of the Third Power is an RPG with a retro aesthetic, inspired in part by the political landscape of Europe in the late 1930s. In this game, the combat system is specifically tailored to involve all 8 characters simultaneously, each offering a different set of abilities and strategic possibilities. Equipment in the game is also designed to be persistent and meaningful. For example, each item acquired serves as a permanent upgrade rather than a replaceable commodity, reducing unnecessary inventory management while providing ample incentives for exploration and crafting. Dual Orb II is a traditional RPG that follows the journey of a young priest tasked with locating 4 mystical orbs to prevent the destruction of the world. The gameplay adopts a familiar turn-based combat style but introduces notable distinctions. The combat itself is governed by a semi-turn-based mechanic where a character's speed determines the frequency of their actions. This often results in situations where slower characters may suffer multiple attacks before they can respawn, significantly increasing the game's challenge, especially in its later stages. Summon Night Swordcraft Story 2 is an action RPG that enhances its predecessor's formula with refined gameplay, improved visuals, and engaging character dynamics. The gameplay centers around a weapon forging system that forms the core of both exploration and combat. Players can craft 6 different weapon types, each offering a unique combat style. Weapons degrade over time, requiring frequent reforging to maintain combat effectiveness. This mechanic encourages strategic preparation and repeated use, rewarding players with stronger weapons over time.
Unfortunate for him.
The Growlanser Series is a blend of tactical strategy and traditional RPG storytelling, delivering a unique hybrid that stands out in the crowded JRPG landscape. Gameplay-wise, the series breaks from the typical grid-based tactics format by using a free movement real-time battle system, where positioning and timing are crucial. Instead of turns, characters execute actions in real time, governed by casting or movement timers. As a result, players must constantly assess the battlefield, issuing commands to allies while managing enemy threats that move and attack independently. Sense of Destruction is a game where you play as Kairi, a young man who unknowingly possesses the ability to annihilate the world. In this game, the combat offers a complex and layered system that rewards experimentation and mastery. Characters utilize battle points each turn, which can be distributed among various attacks. Players can also execute special attacks by following on-screen button prompts, adding a level of interactivity and variation to combat.
Not bad, huh? Let's go. I'm a professional.
The Seventh Saga is a traditional RPG that distinguishes itself primarily through its high difficulty level and character selection system. In this game, combat follows a conventional turn-based format. The battle system is menu-driven, with standard commands such as attack, defend, magic, and item. A noteworthy feature is the crystal ball in the interface, which provides information about surrounding monsters, towns, and items. Moreover, magic is learned passively through character progression, eliminating the need to find or manage spells manually. Thousand Arms is an RPG where you play as a spirit blacksmith that is capable of imbuing weapons with elemental powers. In this game, the experience alternates between exploration, combat, blacksmithing, and dating. The combat system utilizes a semi-real-time approach, with one character placed in the front to execute attacks and two in the rear, providing support through magic, healing, or item use. However, only the front character engages directly in combat, limiting strategic flexibility but creating opportunities for tactical support through buffs and status effects. Stella Glow is a strategy RPG that offers a richly stylized experience that successfully merges tactical combat with a musical narrative. The gameplay follows the genre conventions found in titles like Final Fantasy Tactics, utilizing gridded isometric battlefields with turn-based combat. However, this game distinguishes itself with positional mechanics that reward strategic placement. Attacks from the side or rear increase accuracy and damage, while character orientation at the end of a turn can influence subsequent actions.
Okage!
Vanguard Bandits is a tactical RPG that offers a refreshing departure from conventional RPG design. The game centers around a series of turn-based battles, fought on 3D maps using all-terrain armored combatants. Combat is highly strategic, relying on the interplay between action points and fatigue points. Your AP governs how much a character can do, while your FP determines how far your characters can sustain their action on the battlefield. Shadow King is an RPG that distinguishes itself through originality in concept and presentation. The core gameplay centers on a battle system similar to the active time battle format. Characters act as their individual meters fill, executing standard attacks and magic in turn-based combat. The combat rarely demands complex strategy, and the game's ease further reduces its depth. Not only that, required battles are limited to specific enemy urns within dungeons, allowing players to bypass many encounters if they choose to do so. Death End Request is a traditional turn-based RPG that integrates elements of visual novel storytelling with genre-shifting mechanics. Gameplay-wise, it is divided between two modes. The in-game world features an innovative turn-based battle system that granted freedom of movement during combat, allowing for positioning and area-based attacks. On the other hand, the game also introduces a unique mechanic that allows for temporary shifts in gameplay genre. You can transform the combat into a first-person shooter or fighting game scenario, which further emphasizes its experimental design. Avalon Code is an action RPG that offers a visually striking experience underscored by a deeply original gameplay mechanic. The gameplay is structured around a linear progression through towns, fields, and dungeons. While exploration is fairly straightforward, dungeons are divided into small, self-contained challenge rooms with objectives that must be completed to advance. This segmentation introduces a puzzle-like layer to dungeon progression, distinguishing it from more open-ended action RPG formats. Stella Deus is a strategy RPG that strives to combine turn-based combat with a philosophically driven narrative. However, the gameplay is where this game excels. It employs a grid-based combat system with a focus on action points, combo mechanics, and spatial strategy. The class system is fixed rather than flexible, with each character following a distinct development path. While this eliminates the job-switching freedom, the depth is preserved through the use of skill types. Moreover, the game also includes a robust item fusion system and multiple character ranks, allowing players to do substantial customization. Makai Agito is a modern-day dungeon-crawling RPG that blends supernatural horror with mythological intrigue. At its core, the game is a first-person dungeon crawler, evoking the structure of classic titles in the genre. Players navigate labyrinthine environments from a grid-based perspective while unraveling mysteries, avoiding traps, and confronting the arcane in turn-based combat. The battle system employs a front and back row mechanic, where character placement influences attack strength, defense, and skill usability. As a result, tactical formation is essential, as fragile spellcasters can be protected in the rear while durable attackers lead from the front. Magna Carta is an RPG that combines Eastern fantasy aesthetics with a narrative driven by political unrest and relationships. However, the battle system is one of the title's most defining features. Rather than relying on traditional turn-based combat, it employs a system that merges real-time movement with timed inputs via the Trinity Circle mechanic. You'll control one character at a time in combat, and you can move freely within the battle space while managing a gauge that governs action availability. The Legend of Nayuta is a game that delivers a compact RPG that balances lighthearted adventure with engaging gameplay. Unlike other entries in the Trails franchise, this game trades grid-based tactical combat and dense political intrigue for fast-paced, real-time action combat and a narrative that focuses more on fantasy and personal growth. Moreover, the game's most distinctive mechanic comes in the form of seasonal changes that affect both puzzles and combat. Each level can be visited in different seasonal states, which alters the environment, enemy behavior, and available paths. Xanadu next is an action RPG that blends atmospheric dungeon crawling with intricate world building. The gameplay follows an interconnected Metroidvania-like structure, but in a 3D isometric perspective. The world is designed as a sprawling, labyrinthine map filled with hidden paths, looping shortcuts, and locked doors that demand backtracking once new tools or keys are acquired. Moreover, combat is real-time and deliberate, with players fight enemies with a mix of melee and magical abilities, many of which are tied to weapons. Skills are also learned through repeated use, encouraging experimentation and a steady evolution of combat tactics. Devil Summoner 2 is an action RPG set in a 1920s Japan infused with occult intrigue, demonic folklore, and vintage sensibilities. However, what sets it apart is its unusual setting. Few RPGs, even within the Shin Megami Tensei brand, embrace a historical backdrop as confidently. The Taisho-era environment is realized through pre-rendered backgrounds and a muted color palette that evoke the tone of Pulp Fiction detective stories. Additionally, the absence of voice acting adds to the retro sensibility, but the writing laced with arch dialogue and understated humor is what carries the atmosphere effectively. Alright boys, I think that's it for today. I know that there are other great JRPGs that I haven't mentioned yet, so how about sharing your best hidden gem JRPGs that probably deserve the spot in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss another regret list. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Peace!